Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another hard-hitting Callous Mind video. In this week's episode, I will be making my Super Bowl pick and going over some stories that I found interesting. Plus, I have a nice rant about country music radio in the Phoenix metropolitan area. There will be timestamps in the video description below for those who like to jump around. As always, thanks for watching, and now let's get into the video. Alright, so I want to start this video really with a rant about country music radio in the Phoenix metropolitan area. And listen, I've been here for a long time. I've been here since 1980. I moved to Phoenix in 1982, so I think that was way before Camel Country, and that was back when I believe Buck Owens owned KNIX. And my problem with country radio in the valley is that they repeat songs too frequently. I mean, you figure if I've been here for now essentially the Phoenix metro area, give or take, but if I moved here 40 years ago and I'm still here and I've been back consistently since 97, I've probably heard a lot of the format, you know what I mean? But the problem is they repeat too many songs and they play too few artists. And that's just not radio. And I almost feel like these radio stations almost appear to have a financial interest in certain artists' careers. Almost like they're making money on the back end for helping the artist on the public facing side of things. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, we'll play the crap out of your songs, and then you give us a kickback, you know, later on when you win all these awards and platinum records and all this kind of stuff. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's very conspiratorial, but I'm just saying, I just don't see how their format, their playlist format, is successful at keeping an audience. Because I challenge anybody who sees this video, if you live in the Phoenix metro area or around the metropolitan area to where you can get Camel Country or KNIX, and you could take your pick, listen to it for 4 hours, and write down the songs and see if any of them are repeated. And if they are repeated, how many times within a 4-hour period are they repeated? And, you know, I really think about that Russell Dickerson song, I don't love you like I used to. You know, God, listen, I like the song, but they have beat our heads in with that song. And I'm talking about KNIX, and I'm talking about Camel, and I'm talking about both of them. So both of them are terrible as far as I'm concerned. Their hosts seem to be okay. You know, a special shout out to Double L. I love her voice. She always sounds like she's smiling when she's talking on the radio. And that's great, you know, good for her. But it's the playlist is my complaint about these radio stations. You guys need to do something to diversify your playlists, do requests, take requests on social media where you have a request hour at least once every day, and then the songs that don't get played that day get carried over into the next day and the next day and the next day or something. But you've got to improve these goddamn playlists. Do it, please. Okay? Alright, so I can't talk about the Super Bowl yet without first talking about the conference championship weekend, even though it's been, you know, as of this weekend, it'll be 2 weekends ago. But Cincinnati at Kansas City, I think you guys remember, you know, from my last video that I'd picked Kansas City in that game. But I also kind of gave Cincinnati a puncher's chance. However, Cincinnati, they really surprised me. They go on the road. They beat Kansas City in KC. Very, very impressive victory for these guys. Cincinnati is a plucky, scrappy football team. And I'm telling you, that bodes real well for them heading into the Super Bowl. And then the next game, San Francisco at Los Angeles Rams. I'd taken the Rams in that. San Francisco made it interesting. But I said, you know, I thought it would be almost impossible to beat a team 3 times in one season. San Francisco almost did it, but they fell short. So the Rams get the win at home and head to the Super Bowl. where they will now face the Cincinnati Bengals. I wanted to bring up this story from Fox News, published 11 hours ago. Liberal outlets fact checkers go to war over Free Beacon report on Biden funding crack pipe distribution. Well, he wants to make sure all those people vote for him again, because apparently you must be on crack if you voted for Joe Biden. Free Beacon editor mocks Washington Post defense that smoking kits typically don't include glass pipes. The White House and its allies in the mainstream media and big tech are disputing a report that a Department of Health and Human Services grant program would fund distribution of crack pipes through safe smoking kits to help advance racial equity. President Biden was widely criticized by conservatives following the Washington Free Beacon's Monday story that the administration would fund the distribution of crack pipes through a $30 million HHS grant program that reimburses local governments and entities that provide safe smoking kits in the name of advancing racial equity and safer drug use for addicts. Wow. The grant specifically denotes smoking kits supplies as among equipment to enhance harm reduction efforts. Oh, yeah, boy. Let's just put a shiny bow on this piece of crap. The Free Beacon cited an HHS spokesperson who told the outlet the smoking kits would provide users with the ability to smoke any illicit substance, including crack cocaine and crystal methamphetamine. The story also noted existing smoking kit programs in cities such as San Francisco, Annapolis, and Seattle all include smoking pipes. Good Lord. The story went viral, and in the days since, Snopes, PolitiFact, The Washington Post, New York Times, Facebook, Salon, and Daily Beast, and others have rushed to Biden's defense, publishing stories and fact checks disputing the Free Beacon report. The outlets mirrored talking points from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who dismissed it as misinformation, and an HHS spokesman who said the story was blatant misinformation. Oh, misinformation. But on Wednesday, in response to the tumult, HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra and Office of National Drug Control Policy Director Dr. Rahul Gupta said the administration was focused on using our resources smartly to reduce harm and save lives. Accordingly, no federal funding will be used directly or through subsequent reimbursement of grantees to put pipes in safe smoking kits. You know, I just got to say that I feel like this isn't about public health. It's not about public safety. I don't feel like the government's response to COVID has been about public health either. So I guess this is just pretty much par for the course. But I thought this was just an outrageous story, and I really needed to bring it up, and I'll link to this story in the description box below this video. All right, so it's finally time in the NFL season to talk about the final game of the season, the big game, or the Super Bowl. And this year, we feature Los Angeles versus the Cincinnati Bengals in Los Angeles. And here the Rams should be, you know, I would think kind of a favorite. They just won the NFC Championship game at home, and they're also playing the Super Bowl at home. So, you know, that's cool to them. But for me, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. And my reasoning is a couple of fold. One is, I'd like to see Joe Burrow succeed where Dan Marino failed. And for you guys who are real young, you might not understand that Dan Marino at one time went to a Super Bowl and didn't win it. But he went early on in his career, and then he never got back. And I'd hate to see that happen to Joe Burrow. The other thing is, I don't want to listen to an entire football season where I hear about the world champion Rams coming to town or the Super Bowl champion Rams. No, thanks. I don't want to hear that shit. So Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, the Cincinnati Bengals, they can spare me from that noise pollution. And having said that, I'm going to be rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals in this Super Bowl. The other thing, I don't want the Bengals or Joe Burrow to rest on their accomplishment of just getting to the Super Bowl. I don't necessarily think they're satisfied. You know, I don't want that to be like a fallback answer. Oh, well, you know, nobody expected us to be here or any of this bullshit. You have the opportunity in front of you to win the Super Bowl, so I say go win the Super Bowl. And I also want to kind of tie this part to the whole Kyler Murray fiasco, because some of you may not know, you know, recently Kyler Murray, I guess, took down all of the Cardinals related stuff from his social media or whatever, much like maybe he's, you know, trying to influence a trade or, you know, encourage, provoke a contract extension, if you will. Yeah, I think I said this after the Cardinals' wild card loss, but I'm going to reiterate it nonetheless. I don't believe the Cardinals should give Kyler Murray a contract extension at this point right now. I just don't think KM1 deserves to be making, you know, $40 million a year or be up there paid like the upper echelon of quarterbacks in this league who have, you know, already won and or played in Super Bowls. I mean, you know, Aaron Rodgers has won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson's won a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has won a Super Bowl. And, you know, you need only look at the Rams extending Goff early and then ending up trading him to Detroit to get Matthew Stafford. Or you also need look no further than the Eagles when they extended Carson Wentz, you know. And I think that was after they went to the Super Bowl. But it wasn't Carson Wentz that won the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a backup. So I'm just saying that if it's my money and I'm the Cardinals organization, I'm looking to see a little bit more from Kyler Murray. That's just me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments section below if you're a passionate Cardinals fan or passionate about this quarterback conversation in general, because I'd actually gotten a text from Adam about this, and he said, oh, you know, jokingly, Adam said that, oh, well, we would take Kyler Murray in Chicago, and the offensive line could just build him a little snowman behind the line so that he could stand on and see over the linemen. But no, I mean, you know, in all seriousness, man, when you start talking about committing $35 to $40 million per year for one dude, and that's like, what, 25% of your salary cap or whatever on one player? Man, that's a lot of cheddar. And, you know, I just like to see, personally, I like to see a little deeper run into the playoffs. You know, a little better decision making on his part throughout the season, over the whole entire course of the season. And in the playoffs, Mr. I threw a pick six at the half-yard line. You know, this is serious stuff, man. This is big boy dollars. And I can't say, you know, that I know who I'd want to replace him if we were to leave or they were to trade him or whatever. But I'm just saying, I think asking for the extension right now is a little bit premature. And if the Cardinals have learned any lessons from other organizations, it's that you should not prematurely extend. Wink, wink. I can't think of the Oakland Athletics without thinking of my friend Adam. So with that, I just saw this story come across a couple days ago. Former Major League Baseball player Jeremy Giambi dies in California at 47, agent says. So Jeremy Giambi, a former Major League outfielder and first baseman who was a key figure on successful Oakland Athletics teams in the early 2000s, died at his parents' home in Southern California on Wednesday, according to a statement from his agent Joel Wolfe. Giambi was 47. Officers responding around 11:30 a.m. Pacific time to reports of a medical emergency found Giambi dead at his parents' home in Claremont, east of Los Angeles. Police Lieutenant Robert Ewing told the Associated Press. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office will determine the cause of death, Ewing said. Wolf said the family requested that we all respect their privacy during this difficult time. Giambi played 6 seasons in the majors, including with his older brother, 5-time All-Star Jason Giambi, on the A's in 2000 and 2001. It was during the 2001 season that Jeremy Giambi was part of one of the most memorable moments in Major League Baseball history when he was tagged out at home on the back end of Derek Jeter's famous flip toss during Game 3 of the American League Division Series between the New York Yankees and A's. Giambi was a highly productive member of that A's team, which won 102 regular season games, batting .283, .391, .450 with 12 home runs and 57 RBIs. So rest in peace, sir. All right, so I'm sure you guys can probably hear it in my voice that I'm sick, and I think with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will try to do another video next week. I should say I'm not really sick right now. I'm just I have the after effects of it. I'm getting over it, and so I'm still kind of getting choked up and all that stuff. But anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for taking the time and spending some time with me today. As always, I do sincerely appreciate it. Please, please, please be good to yourselves and each other, and I will talk to you all next week, good Lord willing. All right? But until then, talk to you later. God bless.